All right, I just got back from the land of movie magic. LA, Hollywood, Burbank. It was really cool. I'm super caught up in the Oscar race. Every year I watch all the Oscar movies, and it was super fun to go out to LA. Shout out to my cousin Maddie, who's getting married. That's why we went out there. And my new cousin Jess. Welcome to the family. Yeah, so it was super fun to go out. I kind of wasn't super excited about LA. I thought it'd be like full of like super rich movie stars and like crunchy hippies, and there's a little bit of that, but it's actually like full of like a bunch of regular people too. And nothing against movie stars and crunchy hippies either. You know, it's good to have a mix of everybody. And so it was super cool. We went out there. Definitely, like the whole movie thing is everywhere. There's billboards. There's movie studios. You'll just pass like driving down the street. You see like, oh, it's a donut shop. It's a car shop, and then it's like a camera rental place or like a film processing place or an editor. So it's just like it's everywhere. Tons of people out there work in the movie industry, and it's cool. I love seeing that stuff on the big screen, and it's kind of cool to go where it's made and see what it was like. So starting off with movie talk, probably the best movie theater in the world is an airplane, and I saw "Can You Ever Forgive Me" on the airplane. It's this new Melissa McCarthy movie from 2018, based on a true story of an author of biographies who is like kind of down on her luck, and so she sells like one of these autograph letters she got from a more famous author, and it sold for a quite decent bit of money. So then she goes and forges all these other letters, and she's writing them. She's got a million typewriters, and she's selling them, and quickly she gets in over her head. She's an author, and not just an author. She's a biography author. She writes biographies. So not exactly like a criminal mastermind. But it was pretty good. It wasn't my favorite. I I'm It wasn't nominated for Best Picture, and I would agree with that for sure. I know they were going for a bunch of Oscar buzz with Melissa McCarthy, and I don't know, did she get nominated for um, Best Actress? I don't I don't know off the top of my head. I'm failing in my actress in a leading role skills. I don't know all the main nominations except for Best Picture right now. She did get nominated, so good for her. She did a really good job. And she kind of captured this character. I think the problem more was in the script. Like, it wasn't as cool as I had hoped. And every once in a while, I think they just like told her to like improv, do your Melissa McCarthy thing, say something funny. So she'll be like kind of this like author, this kind of drunk, hard ass, introvert. And then occasionally she'll just be like, oh, I hope you like those cookies I got you. Oh, what about the milk? She just like throws in these random like one lines where it's like, it's almost like she got possessed by Melissa McCarthy for like 10 seconds and just became this comedian from like Ghostbusters, which I liked the new Ghostbusters, but she's playing this character. She shouldn't like go into Melissa McCarthy mode, but I don't think that's her fault at all. I bet you that's what the way she was directed. They knew they had this kind of like somber character piece, and they picked her because she can inject a little life into it, and I think she did a good job. It was like fairly good. Gosh, I don't know who this dude is, but Richard E. Grant as Jack Hawk. He did a really good job. He was like pretty charismatic. His character was really charismatic and flamboyant, so I think he commanded the screen really well. So he was really fun to watch. Yeah, it was okay. I don't think you gotta go see this one, but if you want to see Melissa McCarthy's performance, she did a good job, and it was an interesting story. I kind of want to know, like, I definitely got to go research it and see like what was it all true, what was true and what wasn't. Part of the problem was the movie centers around like selling forged autographs of authors that were made on typewriters to bookstores, and it just feels like they're in like a different world. I mean, try to find a bookstore that's not Barnes and Noble. I mean, my city I live in is one of the highest bookstores per capita, but still, like even so, there's not a ton. And ones that are going to be buying autographs of other authors and celebrities. There's a collectibles market, but it's not. Um, it's so far removed from walking into a store and selling an autograph or a letter for money and getting cash on the spot. And another thing is the celebrities and stuff in this movie that they're selling the authors from are like from the golden age of, cinema, the silver screen, which is cool, but, they're like, they didn't mean much to me. I knew who some of the people were, and some of them I didn't. And so I think if I knew who the celebrities were, it would be a lot more interesting. But it was almost like a different world. Like some of the stuff they do, you're like, that would never happen today. And I don't know. It's a weird window in the past. So then I followed up this movie with critically acclaimed Johnny English 3. Johnny English Strikes Again. And I would say Johnny English 3, I don't remember which Johnny English I like the most. One of them I really, really like. One of them I think's okay. And this one I think's okay. It's just Johnny English being a real goofball. Some of the gags are really stupid, and some of them are funny, and some of them are so stupid that they become really funny. Yeah, look, umbrella in the nose. How do you beat that? It's really stupid. I think having movies like Kingsman really kind of takes some of the wind out of Johnny English 3's sails. I think it was just, some of it was really great and some of it was dumb. If you need a dumb movie to watch on the airplane, this is an alright one, like it was fun. I had like an hour and 20 minutes left on the flight, and this was like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Worked out perfect. Alright, so then we got to LA, and there were like billboards everywhere for the Oscars. I was getting pumped for the Oscars. There's I just pulled up Roma here, and so you saw these Roma billboards, and pretty much every studio and every movie had billboards and posters, and they almost all had the same color scheme, where it was black and white with gold text, and they would always have the number of picture or awards they were nominated for. And some of them would say like, for your consideration, because they're actually not marketing it to you and me as much as they are marketing it to the actual Academy, which lives in LA mostly. So it was pretty cool. Like, they're campaigning to get Best Actress award, or they're campaigning to get Best Director, Best Picture. It's this one's definitely written, directed by Cuarón, so that's kind of a double whammy for screenplay and director. So it was really cool to see all that getting hyped up. I imagine it's only going to ramp up over the next couple weeks, and I don't know, it just like was like all these movies that I think a lot of people just barely don't even see. It was cool to see them getting celebrated more than just, during the telecast. I think maybe if you're cynical, you're just saying, oh, well, it's just the marketing machine, man. Tainting the Oscars, tainting the award ceremony. Maybe so, but I thought it was cool. So it was cool to see movie stuff everywhere. Then one morning we did like a bunch of touristy stuff. We didn't do too much touristy stuff, but we walked around and we went and saw the Chinese Theater. It was cool. These pictures make it look really, really like cool and super chic. It kind of looks a little older and run down in person. Maybe it looks more like this. It's not run down, but we didn't go inside. We just kind of saw the front, and we saw the all the the handprints and footprints in the sidewalk. We walked down the walk and we saw the stars. That was pretty cool. It was really cool at first because you're like, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. But honestly, there's so many names that are on the Walk of Fame that like towards the end, you're just like, oh look, there's Johnny Cash. Like if you would have seen him first, you'd be like, oh, Johnny Cash. But now that you've seen like 100 names, it's it's lost a little bit of its luster. But it was cool. It was cool to see because you always see it in the theater, in movies and on TV. It's like, oh, that's where that is. Yeah, and we saw next door to the Chinese Theater, basically. Maybe not quite next door, is the Dolby Theater. And I don't know, like, I always kind of wondered where the Oscars were. And I don't think they always do it here, but they do it here a lot. We didn't go inside and see the cool rows. I don't know if it was available or they were showing a movie or something. But we saw it from the outside. And this curtain isn't up. It just kind of looks like a big open doorway mall area. It doesn't really... On Oscar night, it's like dressed up to the nines, but when you're there, it's kind of like this big mall. And so it's kind of interesting to see, like, oh, that's what the Oscars looks like when the Oscars isn't happening. So that was cool. Then we went to the wedding. It was awesome. Beautiful ceremony. It was really cool up in the hills, but keeping it to movie talk today, so I won't go into it too much. But awesome wedding, guys, if you're listening. It was really fun. Good to see the family. Yeah, so that went great. It was awesome. Hung out the next day, went to the pier and saw more billboards and stuff. And then our last day before we flew out, we went on the Warner Brothers lot tour. And it was pretty cool. Like, you go in one of these big trams and they drive you around the back lots. If you don't know what back lots are, it's like filled with these buildings that don't really have much inside them. And they use them for exterior shots. And basically, you've probably seen some of these buildings in like 10 or 20 different movies that you've seen. But they repaint them, they put facades on, they change the signs, they screw lampposts in. They do anything and everything to make them look like what they want. So like the same building might be a bank one day, a high school the next day, and a city hall the next day. And Warner Brothers movie pictures can use the lot, but otherwise competitors do too. So sometimes even non-Warner Brothers movies rent out these back lots. And then they've got like a bunch of like touristy stuff. Like you can see the Friends set, and they like you walk around the back lots and they tell you stories about things. There was a lot of stories where they're like, that's the store in Friends, and that's like the house from Friends. I don't know if it's because Friends is so popular on Netflix or because Friends is popular for international tourists, but there was a lot of like Friends factoids. And the German group in our tour bus really liked the Friends stuff, so that was pretty cool. Then we get to see a little bit of Harry Potter. They had like a Harry Potter exhibit, so you saw like the robes and stuff, which was pretty cool. Probably the coolest thing is we get to go through the prop house, and it's just like this giant warehouse. If you ever seen like American Pickers, it almost looks like that, and it's filled with all this weird stuff. And you'll walk around and you'll see a tag on it. It says it's going to be taken by a production next week, and they're going to like rent out this typewriter, or they're going to rent out this lamp. So they just put tags on it, and they've got it reserved. So it's cool. Like there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I saw this literal pirate dude. I saw like a bunch of cool Agent Smiths from like The Matrix. It was pretty cool. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. The prop lot was pretty cool. We get to go inside a sound stage, which are like these giant buildings that have stages built in them. Sound stage. Yeah, so that's what they look like. Just this nondescript beige building, but once you get inside, it's like this giant stage and walls and people. They like build partial buildings inside. It was really cool. We went on the one for Lethal Weapon, which I have never watched the show, but it was cool to see the cop set. Now I'm going to watch the show just to see if I can spot the set. I'm sure I can. Yeah, so the Warner Brothers tour was pretty cool. It wasn't like a you have to do it, but it was neat to see how like the movie's made, you know, a little see how the sausage is made. Yeah, and so it was a lot of fun. We flew out of LA. On the way home, I watched like half of Ready Player One, but I didn't finish it, so I'm not going to talk about that today. Yeah, so yeah, it was an awesome trip. I would like to go back and spend some more time. We didn't really make a whole vacation out of it. We just kind of went for the wedding and kind of squeezed some stuff in here and there. Um, and the wedding was the main attraction. We didn't need to go to do anything too crazy, but it'd be fun to go back and check out more. I kind of want to do maybe like the Paramount tour or something, or I don't know. I don't know what I would want to do, but it was pretty cool, and we had a lot of fun. There's movie stuff everywhere. It's getting me hyped for the Oscars more and more. Definitely gonna check out some of the, like, there was even posters for like documentaries, which I thought was pretty sweet. There were posters for new TV shows that were coming out. It's just like it was cool. You know, you can tell entertainment is big there, and it was really fun. So yeah, if you ever want to go to LA, it was really cool. We hung out in Burbank a lot. Went down to the Warner Brothers studios. Last day we stayed over in North Hollywood, which was pretty cool. A little Japanese hotel. Yeah, it was really fun. I'd like to go back, see some more of the stuff. Saw the Hollywood sign. It's there, man. Looks just like on TV. Don't need to go out your way to go hike up it or anything like that. It was fun. Yeah, so that's all I got for movie chat. I got one more movie to see before I see all the best pictures, and then I can kind of start sifting through my thoughts there. Who should win? What will win? All the exciting stuff. But I gotta watch A Star Is Born. Darn Lady Gaga, you know. Making this movie I gotta go watch. No, I heard it's really good. I was kind of skeptical, but everyone said it was excellent. So probably watch it this week and start thinking about that. Alrighty, till next time.